Today is day 3 of my Tesla experiment. So we have this car for 76 days to decide if we want to purchase this vehicle. Today was a very eventful day. Like I discussed on yesterday, we had one of our first road trips or extended drives. We went to Purcellville to see a new construction development by Metre Homes. The drive, it's 48 miles from my house, so round trip almost 100 miles in one day, and it took about an hour and a half to get there during, I guess it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't have to intervene one time except when I wanted to detour because there was a lot of traffic on Fairfax County Parkway that I wanted to avoid, and the mapping system just wanted me to go down Fairfax County Parkway, so I deviated from that, which was a great idea because I got to see the self-driving feature on some of the back road. Well, it's not a back road, but they have these winding roads in Clifton, or as you approach Clifton, that are sometimes they feel quite eventful. There's a lot of 20-degree turns, and then you pick up your speed back to 35 miles per hour. 20 miles per hour turns, then you pick up your speed back to 35 miles per hour. There's no shoulder on these roads, so the margin of error is doesn't exist. And so it was nice to see how the car handled that road. And what shocked me about today's session was I'm pretty familiar with most of Northern Virginia, but Purcellville is kind of on that outer reach of, there's less houses in that market. The lots are larger, so it's just a different market altogether. And so when we got closer to our destination, the confidence that the Tesla FSD, full self-driving, has down these roads, it's quite impressive, right? Because if you go into a new area, like there's like a little hesitancy, right? Yes, you have your GPS and you're following the GPS orders, right? But between you and the GPS orders or instructions, you are still processing that information, right? You're processing whether or not I want to go right, I want to go left, I want to stay on this route. There is no reluctance to follow the instructions from the GPS, so that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. That was a great trip, and that led to our first charging session. Yeah, this is our first charging session at a charging station. Now, the way Tesla's or the way this worked this time was, once I got to Purcellville, I think I maybe had like 15 to 20% of my battery left, and it said that for me to get home, I need to go to this charging station in the middle and just fill up for, I think it only wanted me to fill up for like 6 minutes, and then I can get home, right? But I knew that I have an electrician coming tomorrow that's going to be installing a charger for my house. So this is going to be one of the few times I get to charge at a charging station during this experiment. So I didn't want to rob myself of that experience. So I waited the entire time to charge my car. And it took about an hour and 20 minutes going from between 10 and 15% to 100%. Now, the instructions did say that if you are daily driving your Tesla, there's no need for you to fill up to 100%. 80% is the recommendation. And in fact, at the Supercharger station, it says that if all of the bays were full, then you would have like this congestion fee that would charge you 50 cents per minute that you are still in the bay when you're trying to fill up past 80%. So the recommendation is 80%. None of the bays were full when I arrived, so I just waited the entire time to fill up to 100%, which is fine too, because I was right next to this little shopping center or this like outdoor mall type of setting in Leesburg, and I just got myself a burrito and walked around a little bit, right? And then I also watched some YouTube videos as I waited. So yeah, so that was another thing too about the supercharging session. The cost for the entire session, so going from 10 to 15% to 100%, was $22. $22. That's crazy. $22 to get myself back to about 280 miles of range, whereas in my Acura MDX, it's 2011, but I recently had a 2026 Acura MDX as a loaner for some work I was getting done early this year, so it had the same poor miles per gallon, and I spent anywhere from $65 to $80 on premium fuel for that car. So to see $22 for the same range is just insane. So that was pretty cool. And then we headed back home. On the way home, I called my wife, asked her. I was near a Costco, so I called and asked her if she wanted me to go to Costco, and she said yes. So I just punched in I just added a destination to my directions, and FSD. Soon as the new coordinates were in, it changed the route, and it really felt like I was being chauffeured. I gotta say, it really feels like you're being chauffeured, because I'm not even parking. That's another thing too. Today was the first day I experienced the car parallel parking. Most of the parking jobs I've seen thus far are where it just backs into a space. I haven't seen it yet pull into a space, but it backs into most of the spaces, or all of the spaces, until today we're in parallel park, and my goodness, that parallel parking job was amazing. I pride myself as a good parking person, right? Having good parking skills. And, you think that this is something you acquire over time, and, look at me back into a space. Look at me nail this parallel parking situation. And then you get into a Tesla, and it just does it with the push of a button. I mean, there's so many things that's just amazing about this car, but there are some things that are negatives, okay? One of the negatives is this seat is uncomfortable right here by the neck area. Right there by that neck area. So I have 3 pillows that I ordered from Amazon that are going to be here in the next 2 or 3 days. I'll test out 3 of them. I'll test out all of them, and then I'll keep the one that fits the best, and I'll return the others. But yeah, this right here, this is some weird action going on right here, right? So there's that. There's also that the seat itself, the seat isn't that comfortable. Now, I am coming from an Acura, and I know I have to get my mind wrapped around that all of the seats that I sit in will be different. But I'm hoping I get used to it. The seat also gets hot too. So this makes me, this almost makes me think about maybe getting the, if I were to pull the trigger on buying a Tesla, getting the 2026 Model Y, the Juniper edition, which has the ventilated seats in the front. I believe the Model X also comes with the ventilated seats, but the Model X's, like the 2024, they cost anywhere from like $55,000 to like $70,000. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get my wife on board with me spending that much money on a vehicle. the last thing that I did today was I went to Walmart and I tested out the summons feature, where you in your app, or in the Tesla app, you can press summon, and if you're in a parking lot and the car, I think the car has to see you because you're responsible if it hits somebody. So I guess you want to be looking at it. So I was looking at it, and it wasn't really that far away from me. I think it was only like 115 feet away from me. And inside the app, you press the button, hold it down, and then the car comes to you. You summon it to you. This is crazy. That's a cool feature. That's a very cool feature. I could definitely see it coming in handy when it's raining, right? When it's pouring down raining and you don't want to go to the car. But then I guess, would you do the summon feature if visibility is low? I don't know. It's weird. You know, when you're in the car and you're controlling the car, or when you have the ability to control the car, it's easier to kind of believe that you can intervene in the event that something happens. But with summons, there's nothing you can do. I mean, once you let your hand off of the button, it stops the car immediately. So that's pretty cool. But yeah. Okay, there's one more thing, and then I'll let you all go. So when I do my new construction property tours, we're adding another level of tours to our channel, which, well, I guess a different type of content, which is going to be like a community overview, where we talk about the community as a whole, talk about the different models, and then in that video we kind of point you to the model tour that we've done inside of that community, right? So a part of that whole game plan is to do these driving portions of the community itself, right? In my Acura, the top half of the car is metal, so I have these magnets, these I think they call earth magnets, with my GoPros attached to them, and I could just plop it down, put it on top here. It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, I've had those GoPros attached to the top of the hood going, 70, 80 miles per hour, and nothing happened. They stuck to the car, right? Well, this the Tesla only has a glass roof, right? There's a glass roof. Also, the trunk area, that front part is like plastic. I don't know what the material is. It's not metal. The only metal was on the driver and the passenger door, and also the doors in the back. Outside of that, I took the magnet and tried to place it all around the car to see if there were any spots that would work. It didn't work. So I got some suction mounts that I adhered to the glass roof. That worked out well. So that problem is solved. Outside of that, that was about it. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty eventful day. We have the electrician coming over. So I have a lot of work to do to prepare for the electrician. I got to get some stuff out of my garage so that they have space to work. And I also have to go to Best Buy to pick up the charger. I'm going to go with the $600 variant. And that's about it for tomorrow. We are planning to go out of town one of these weekends to kind of test out the Tesla on a longer road trip. So look out for that. And also there's a link down below in the description to almost like a page that contains all of the videos for this series. So if you want to check that out, please feel free to do so. Also on that page, you can make comments at the bottom too as you follow along. If there's anything you want me to kind of include on in this series, just let me know. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.